Hey, Neves, here to record?
Yeah.
Why are you giving me that look?
What's in the box?
What's in the fucking box, man? A ham sandwich. I brought my lunch.
Okay. It better be a ham sandwich, motherfucker.
You're too excited about this Fincher episode, bro.
Yeah, maybe.
Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast, episode 106. I'm your host, Nathan, and I'm joined by the man himself, Matthew Neves, to my left.
Thank you.
And today, we are going to be discussing one of my favorite directors, David Fincher.
Hell yeah.
He's got a new movie coming out soon, The Killer. He's going back to serial killers.
Yeah.
And David Fincher and serial killers is like peanut butter and fucking jelly, man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, it is.
So I'm real excited about that. I really hope it lives up to my high expectations. I just thought it would be a good time to look at Fincher's filmography so far because he's had such an interesting career to me. From television shows to music videos to commercials to some of the best films of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what a career.
Because this guy knows some stuff. That's the thing I realized was he's been working in the industry since like the early 80s.
Uh-huh.
I think he said he worked on Return of the Jedi as a supervisor VFX.
Really?
I believe so. Correct me if
I
I'm
know,
wrong. But
I know he started with ILM.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
those were one
where-
of the earliest films he did.
Yeah,
was
and that's
with
where he
Return.
learned a lot of that special effects stuff that we see in some of his future stuff, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, because the last episode we talked about Gareth Edwards, a person who is well versed with VFX. Same with David Fincher. This guy has been working on these films, and a lot of them, not a lot of people talk about the VFX in it, the CGI. Lot of it.
Yeah, because maybe they're not movies that you think have VFX and CGI, but a movie like Fight Club, bro.
Oh my
the
God.
camera's going through floors, going through ceilings, going like it's an insane movie. What the camera does, like with some of those CG shots, and the way they blend it in with just the way that film shot, which is beautifully, like
Yeah.
it just works really well.
My favorite thing, because people ask, like, what's your favorite, like, special effects driven movie? And everyone, like, says Jurassic Park, Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Social Network. And they're like, really?
Ooh.
And they're like, yeah, you couldn't fucking tell how many shots were, like, VFX and stuff. And it was like most of the film, if not all of it, was. And you can't even fucking tell. That's the cool part about
Yeah.
David Fincher's work, is that a lot of these shots that you see aren't. They look real. That's
Social
the-
Network, you really can't tell.
No.
Fight Club is like a product of the
Yes.
times,
Yeah.
and there's obviously some that doesn't age well, but I still think is cool because it's like a time capsule in that era.
Yeah,
I don't know,
absolutely.
sometimes for me, outdated CGI doesn't ruin it. Like, won't ruin it for me. It'll just add to like, okay, that's like the era.
Yeah, I think that, and also the story itself
Yeah.
is perfect.
Exactly.
So I'll excuse
you can excuse some
a
CGI.
couple
for sure.
moments, like the buildings destroying and stuff like that. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
fine, because
Yeah.
at that point, I fucking
You're s-
love this movie.
You're so invested in the story.
Yeah. So there are moments like that in probably his earlier work. But I don't
didn't know about that him working on Star Wars and stuff. I knew
Yeah.
that he worked for ILM, and then I knew that he got his opportunity to directing Alien 3.
Yes, which I guess we can start from the beginning.
Let's start
in
with
terms
Alien
of that.
3.
Alien 3 is a film that Fincher fucking hates talking about
Oh, yeah.
for good reason. It's one of those movies where it was in like production hell, because the
Yeah.
expectation was, okay, we're making a sequel to Aliens, James Cameron's Aliens, and it's like, well, what do you do? We can't say aliens.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, Alien to the Power of 3. Fuck it. What is it about? And then like the story was being written, and then David Fincher got on, and I from what I've heard, the production was pretty rough with
Yeah.
the VFX and the alien technology and stuff like that. It's like it was all over the place. But looking at it from that perspective, and you see the movie, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not great,
But
but
he really hates it, and I mean, he said that like he thought he would never make another feature film again. Like,
yeah.
it literally drove him to like not want to do it again. I watched this interview of his where he was just like, yeah, just after that I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do commercials. I'm gonna do, and then after Alien 3. He has this incredible run of commercials. I want to talk a little bit about this
Go for it.
because I went down the David Fincher commercial rabbit hole.
Hell yeah, man.
And bro, in the 90s, he had some of the sickest Nike commercials. The Instant Karma. He's got ones with Charles Barkley that are amazing. He's got one called Barkley on Broadway.
Whoa.
That one is so good. You got to check that one out. And he's got one called Barkley of Seville, which is like a play on the Looney Tunes.
Oh my
Barber of
God.
Seville.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fantastic, bro.
What?
He has some super underrated commercials that showcase his CGI. Like he does this one Adidas one with like these robot legs showcasing these new shoes.
Yeah.
And the CGI is insane in it. Like it's film quality stuff.
Oh my God. And he did all this. So how many commercials is that? 1, 2, 3, 4,
So these
5?
are some of his most popular from 92 to 95. He did a ton of commercials. We're talking like he probably did 10 commercials
Yeah.
in this era.
That's crazy. Because, like, that's what I mean. Like, commercials, in terms of production, they're quick, but you have to fucking, like, hook the audience
Yeah.
super fast.
Yeah, and then I mean he worked with Nike, Coke, he worked with like he worked with Adidas, he worked with some of the
Wow.
Levi's. He worked with some of the biggest brands and had the biggest commercials on television. Heineken, he was like everywhere.
And that's the thing, too, about directors who started out in commercials is, like, nobody ever talks about their work in that. Because obviously Fincher did it. Michael Bay did it. Zack Snyder did it. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of these big-name directors that we talk about now started with commercials.
Yeah.
And they fucking knew how to hook the audience in a 30-second ad. And Fincher was a fucking great example of that.
That's what I love about Fincher because he's just like he was always working. He always found somewhere to. He always wanted to work. He wasn't a director. It's like, oh, I can't get a movie made right now, so you're not gonna see anything from me for 5 years.
Right.
He was like, oh, I'll go off and shoot a movie. Even in the 2000s, okay, I'm not shooting movies or. Sorry, I meant to say I'll go off and shoot a commercial.
Yeah, yeah.
But even in the 2000s, I'm not shooting a movie right now. Okay, I'll go shoot a music video.
Yeah.
He shot a Jay-Z, Justin Timberlake suit and tie music video.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's him.
I remember that one.
And that's like a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
black and white, like a sick music video.
Yeah.
Like
Damn.
he's done. His resume is one of the most impressive resumes because not only does he have classic films, he's got classic music videos. He's got like different mediums and has told stories effectively through these different mediums. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and it also reflects the fact that you don't just have to stick to film when doing this shit. He also did TV episodes of Mindhunter and House of Cards. So it's like he's done shit, and not just from a directing standpoint, but he fucking knows the VFX behind it. So he's not just like being completely unaware of how long it would take. He's aware of it, and he's just like, all right, I'm gonna respect everyone within the department because I know what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So
So after Alien 3 and
yeah.
his stint in commercials in the 90s, he comes back to direct Seven. Jesus fucking Christ. What
Yeah.
a way to come back. He said that the script just came. Skip. Oh my God, I can't.
it's okay. The
Skip.
Yep.
The script came across his desk,
Yeah.
and he said the ending he just couldn't, like he couldn't get away from that ending. Like he couldn't stop thinking about that ending, and he thought it was such a unique. Obviously, it's one of the best endings in film.
Yeah.
And for him to just the stars to align with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt of that era,
Yeah.
like that movie is so fucking good.
Do you know what the original ending was though?
Oh yeah,
My dad told me about this, and I was like, "You're fucking."
this is
kidding."
true. Yeah.
So apparently, the original ending, which they only have storyboards of it because they never even fucking filmed it because Fincher hated this idea, I believe,
Yeah.
was that Morgan Freeman was the one that killed Kevin Spacey.
That would have been such a
I was
shit
like,
fucking ending,
what?
bro.
Why the fuck would he do it? And apparently, like the throwaway line was just like, "I'm a few days away from retirement." That's what
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman said after he shoots Kevin Spacey. I'm like, dude, what the no.
That would have been a horrible ending.
No.
But yeah, that's true because I saw in one of Fincher's interviews, he talks about like taking it back to the studio and be like, I love the ending, and them being like, oh, we're not going with that ending. Like we've written that's like an old draft. We've changed the
Oh.
ending, and Fincher was really adamant, and is the sole reason why that ending came back.
Oh wow! So the studio wanted the Morgan Freeman one.
Yeah, so basically,
Wow.
yeah, so Fincher was reading an old draft that they no longer wanted to do. They did not want to do that ending.
And that was the Brad Pitt one.
That was
he
the
wa-
what's in the
Wow.
box. What's in the box ending.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
That's one of the most iconic endings to any film, and they just were disregarding it. Like,
I know.
Wow.
How do you not know you have gold there? Like that's such. I don't
especially from a
understand.
character standpoint, like you'd have to have read the script and imagine reading that fucking script and being like, "Nah, this ain't a good ending."
I know.
What the fuck? Oh my
I know.
god!
It's so cool to hear about all this behind the scenes. There's great David Fincher interviews on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
That's another thing I love is like a lot of these directors, there's not that much behind the scenes. They don't speak too much, or like, or you have to go into like, you have to buy the Blu-rays and get the commentaries and stuff like that to really hear from them. Fincher just has a ton of interviews on YouTube.
Yeah.
Talks about his filmography all the time. Does some podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you like Fincher, you could learn everything there is to learn about Fincher's
Yeah.
career. And I went down the rabbit hole this last week.
Hell yeah. Like I was the same too a few years back. There's different types of interviews though. There's like the ones where it's like if you just want to know the technicalities of it, he'll describe it to you.
Yeah.
But I always like the ones where he's like interviewing with or him and Affleck are talking together.
Oh, I love that.
Because
one.
Affleck's directed
Yeah.
films and he's
And
directed.
they're like busting each other's balls.
Yeah.
And you could tell they have a fun relationship.
but they also talk about the struggle
Yeah.
of making movies.
yeah, they're
directing.
busting his balls about all the takes that Fincher is famous for and stuff like that. I think that's always funny.
Oh man, Fincher does do that. He was like a Kubrick of like the 90s where he would do like 20, 30 takes and he's just like, I picked the first take.
Everybody compares him to Kubrick, right? Like that's like a big comparison. Not only for the takes, but I think a lot of his style I think he gets from Kubrick.
Perfectionism is probably the most
Yeah.
relatable because of the fact that Fincher, although I feel like he was more versed into, I guess he's more of a modern day VFX guy compared to Kubrick because Kubrick was into VFX too. He really wanted the best of the best technology to perfect his work.
Yeah.
Same with Fincher, where it's just like, okay, this note of it saying 9 o'clock, I want it to say 10. I can do that now. All I have to do is just like, mask it and like put the right writing and
Yeah,
stuff like
he's a perfectionist.
literally like that. And there was behind the scenes, I saw this 2-minute clip of The Killer with Michael Fassbender, and it's like scenes of him driving on the highway, riding his bike and stuff. That's all like the technology of Mandalorian.
Oh, with the big screen, the volume screen, yeah?
So Fincher could be like, all right, take 40.
Yeah.
and Fassbender was like, it's crazy, but like it fucking looks just as good.
Yeah, he could do 40 takes. That's so funny.
That's insane. It's all in a soundstage too, so it's not like,
Yeah.
oh, we gotta wait until the sun comes up. We can't shoot anymore. It's like, no, we can shoot as long as we want.
Damn, film's changing, man. That's crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
it could be. Yeah, that's true. It could be. You don't have to wait on weather. You don't have to wait on time of day. That's different, and it looks
Yeah.
so good. I mean,
Yeah.
you see it in Mandalorian. It looks so good. You saw it in Batman. Like,
Yeah.
the best Gotham has ever looked.
It has, yep, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
Ugh.
that's the future. There's just no doubt.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing that kind of resonated with Seven, and then Fight Club was him working with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
I feel like each character that Brad Pitt has been in from a David Fincher movie has been so different, so distinct, and it challenges both the director and the actor
Yeah.
into trying something fucking new.
To me, this is two of Brad Pitt's top 5 roles.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fight Club and Seven is some of the best Brad Pitt you're ever gonna see. Like, what a performance!
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with them.
Like, people kind of criticize his performance in Seven. Have you heard that? Like,
No.
people kind of say like his delivery's a little bit like kind of stale and like wooden. Like, but I don't really see that.
No.
At all. I think he's playing this troubled detective really well, and his character is quiet and reserved, and that's the delivery of it. I don't know. I always saw it as his character.
You can argue that, like, I guess his earlier roles aren't as experienced as him now because he's learned so much in the industry.
Sure.
But that doesn't make it a bad performance.
No, I think it's a great one. And Morgan Freeman's performance.
Oh,
in
he's so
Seven,
good in that too, man.
It's so good.
Fuck, man.
I wish we got more crime dramas with Morgan Freeman.
There were in the late 90s, early 2000s. They just
there were
weren't as
some.
good.
Yeah, just never as good. But
Something about a spider. I don't know if you know that one. It was like,
No.
I'm going to look it up right now. Hold on. Morgan Freeman crime movies. Because he was in a lot post 7. High Crimes. He was in Gone Baby Gone.
True.
So there were some
There is
exceptions.
some. There is some.
But I
yeah.
think it came along came a spider was the other one. But I think the movies came post Seven because they're like, oh shit, Morgan Freeman can do that. All right, let's just give him like these Seven ripoffs.
Yeah.
And he was in them, but it was not the same shit, you
Yeah.
know. So it's different. But like after Fight Club and Seven came post 2000s work of Fincher. So I believe the next film he did was either Panic Room. So it was Panic Room, and then it was probably what was the one? No, it was The Game.
The Game.
So The Game was after Seven, and then he did Fight Club, and then he did Panic Room. So that was like 2001, and then I think a little bit after that he did I'm trying to look, Zodiac. He did Zodiac, and then The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. But before, okay, let's talk about Zodiac because you fucking were shitting on me for this one.
Yeah.
Talk
so
about it.
I just saw Zodiac was a Fincher film that I hadn't seen. It was on my watch list forever.
Yeah.
And obviously, no brainer. It's Fincher and serial killers again. Peanut butter and jelly for me. And this one worked extremely well for me. The killing scenes felt like horror films.
Yeah.
It felt like a horror film. Robert Downey Jr. giving a crazy performance.
Oh, he's great.
Crazy performance.
Yeah.
That's one I had not seen, and like coming off of like Oppenheimer, seeing him act again, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
man.
this is like that performance. Like he's so good in this. He steals the show with this. He plays this like flamboyant kind of writer that's like full of himself. I love that character. And I don't know, the whole film just worked for me incredibly well. I didn't love the ending where they do the classic fade to black and they show like the Zodiac killer, blah blah blah. Like that always pisses me off.
They did that for that movie. Yeah.
And I wish it didn't end that way. I think my points would have went up a little bit higher because the film itself I really did love. But your rating was
whatever, man. You want me to explain why my rating was
What
a
was your
7
rating?
out of 10? I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I liked the film.
yeah, that's pretty good.
You gave it a 9.
I gave it a 9
which
out
is
of 10.
fair. I know a lot of people who love Zodiac.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why I didn't love it was the fact that I feel like Gyllenhaal's performance wasn't as like interesting as everybody else in the film.
You didn't like Gyllenhaal, eh?
Not a huge fan of the performance. I like him as an actor. Like Donnie Darko was a great performance from him. But like looking at Zodiac, you have Robert Downey Jr. You have Mark Ruffalo.
Fuck,
you have
I didn't even talk. Bro, it's Iron Man and Hulk solving a fucking murder case.
They're fucking great.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's so many actors in the film. Brian Cox is in it briefly as like the interview, the reporter on TV. You got so many great performances, and then I look at Gyllenhaal and I'm just like, I don't think it's as exciting, and it sucks because of the fact that he's the main fucking actor in the movie.
Damn.
So he's the one searching for it, and I'm just like, I don't care about your relationship.
I will say that, Jake Gyllenhaal is the main character and is probably the least interesting character, unfortunately. Like, Robert Downey Jr. steals the show. Mark Ruffalo's so good. Damn, that's actually crazy that it's Iron Man, Hulk, and Mysterio.
Oh yeah, fucking Gyllenhaal was Mysterio. I didn't even know he was in a Marvel film. I just took in
like,
one of the Spider-Man
I just
movies.
thought about
Shit,
that.
man. Yo, you get the Marvel check, you might as well cash it in, you know? But no, overall, like, I'm not saying it's terrible. I always think about the scene where it's just like him talking to the guy who has a basement. It's like, not a lot of people have a basement.
Yeah,
And
bro, that scene, that line
good.
delivery.
That's good.
His line delivery there's not a lot of basements in California. And he turns around. Bro, that line delivery is fucking fire.
that one's good. That whole scene was amazing.
Yeah.
But I didn't love it, but every Fincher film I've seen, I haven't hated. Like, I feel like each one has their own strengths, and some are stronger, in my opinion, than others.
Yeah.
But, like, looking more into it, like, I would say his strongest ones are, like, Social Network, Gone Girl. You want to talk about Gone Girl? Because I was shocked by your rating from this one. Let's turn the tables now,
Yeah, here's another.
motherfucker.
So, Gone Girl's another one I hadn't seen. And I know, like, that movie, when it came out, was, like, real big. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there was a big following for that movie, right? People love Gone Girl. And I liked it. I didn't like it as much as Zodiac. I'm gonna be completely honest. I thought Zodiac was better. I did love Ben Affleck in it. I thought he was great. I feel like he was playing himself in that movie, kind of.
Kind
Like-
of, yeah. No, that's what I mean. It's like you look at his performance in it and you're just like, yeah, this is very much Affleck. But then there's other actors in it that you wouldn't expect to give an amazing performance just from like their past work. And I'm not saying anything about them, but like Tyler Perry, Neil Patrick Harris.
Bruh.
You look at their performances previous and you're just like, okay, why are they in a Fincher film? And then they're in it and they're like, oh, they're fucking great in
When
it.
I saw Neil Patrick Harris, bro, I'm like, what is this fucking
Right?
Smurfs, bro? Like,
Yeah, no, because that's the only thing he's been in from a film perspective.
Yeah.
Like How I Met Your Mother. Like,
yeah.
why is he in this? But his role in it is fucking amazing. Tyler Perry's role is fucking amazing.
Neil Patrick Harris is all right, but Tyler Perry as the fucking lawyer?
Yeah.
How good is he as like the celebrity kind of Saul Goodman-esque
Yes.
lawyer?
Oh, that's a great comparison. No, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, people kind of disregard like specific performances from actors because they're like, oh, well, they were in like these shitty comedies. Like, don't ever do that because then you'll get performances like this. It's the same thing with Adam Sandler. He gets that fucking reputation where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure, I'm not a fan of his comedies, but that doesn't mean he can't offer a dramatic performance like this.
I could not believe Tyler Perry was in this movie. Like when I saw, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Oh,
before I
man.
started it. And when I saw him, I was like, what the fuck is Medea doing in this movie, bro?
Yes.
Like I've only ever seen Tyler Perry with pounds of makeup on his face.
Exactly. Yo, I swear to God, I think Medea Christmas Part 2 came out the same year as that
Yeah,
movie, man.
and for him to give such a role with like this confidence and charisma of like a Saul Goodman, which is a hard character to play.
It is.
He plays this like likable know-it-all lawyer, and it works so well. I wish we saw more regular Tyler Perry performances now.
Yeah, it's very rare. Like I remember when I was watching the first Star Trek movie, he was in it as like one of the judges, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah, and he just plays it straight. I'm like, what? Tyler Perry, you're in a Star Trek movie?
That's like
What?
a side quest for him.
Literally. But speaking of Gone Girl, I think the reason why I really enjoyed it was this refreshing take on erotic thrillers, which I feel like don't get as much like shit because of the fact that we've gotten used to like superhero films. We've gotten used to like
Yeah.
it's like the Western era where it's like we are so used to this type of genre. But I feel like erotic thrillers don't get enough credit because they work really well.
Yeah.
Gone Girl is the best example of
It
that.
takes you on a wild ride. The movie
Yeah.
takes you on this ride. And, you know, at first you like Ben Affleck, and then by the end you're just like, everybody's a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
You guys are all fucked. Like that. That's
I
kinda,
love it.
That's kind of by the end you're ruined with them. You're like, everybody's fucked. But
Yeah.
that was a wild ride. And that's what that movie does.
And I love that because the reality of it is just like that. It's like everyone's a shitty person. It's like who's looking for who? It's like what are they striving for? And it's like the beginning of the movie when you hear that like line of dialogue from Affleck and then you watch the ending and you hear that same line of dialogue completely changes your point of view entirely.
Yeah.
So I love that they did that. And I was just like, man, I wish more films had in that genre existed nowadays.
The movie's great.
Yeah.
The movie's great. But I think you got to rewatch Zodiac. I'm just saying.
I'll rewatch Zodiac. No. I'll rewatch Zodiac. I'll rewatch other Fincher films. Don't get me wrong. I just have hot takes because, like, you know me. I mean, we can get into like our favorite Fincher films, but I wanted to like cover the rest of his.
Let's go
filmography.
Social Network.
Ooh, yeah.
Social Network is fucking great, man.
You can't go wrong with that
Like,
one.
what a fucking movie.
Yeah.
And it's like such a like meta like concept, like meta. I mean, fucking Facebook is
I know,
it's
right?
called
But
meta now.
No, that's the joke. Nathan just made the joke. But there we go. But yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. Where it's like you could have easily made the most typical like Facebook biopic.
It's like to me when I hear oh they're gonna make a movie about how Facebook started, it's like oh they're gonna make a movie about the GameStop fucking like it could have been as corny
Yeah.
as that.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
Dumb
mean?
Money. Yeah,
it could have been like a Dumb Money, but it's not.
No.
It's a really great character driven story with amazing performances and amazing editing.
Damn, I just took in. Yeah, this could have been like a Dumb Money
could have
situation
been a
where
dumb-
the
of
advertisements
course.
is like imagine Facebook movie, but it came out today. It's like Paul Dano's Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
and he's just like, "Whoa, I made Facebook," and then it's just like a quirky face. I'm like, don't go comedic with this.
It could have
fucking
been
movie.
it could have been a corny ass movie
Yeah.
about a guy building up Facebook and just getting it stolen from him.
Yeah.
And that would literally be it. Like
It does so many great things. Justin Timberlake gives probably his best performance.
bro, Justin Timberlake's a fucking good actor. Like
He
let's keep it
is.
100. That movie In Time, where they're fucking selling their like currency is time.
Yeah.
He's good in that movie. That movie is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think. And he's got some other performances that I really like. This is his high standout one. Though.
That's what I mean, though. Like, I think Justin Timberlake compared to actors who are like singers, turned actors, or whatever. This is the best case scenario because even in
Yeah.
like In Time, I thought it was okay, but he gives a great performance. So imagine like him working with one of the best directors,
Yeah.
and getting a role like this.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a role for him because Justin Timberlake's already Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
and you give him this role where he could be this cool guy, and it works so well.
yeah, him, Andrew Garfield, Jesse Eisenberg. I mean, like fucking.
Jesse Eisenberg's so fucking good as Mark Zuckerberg.
And the thing is, he's not doing a Mark Zuckerberg impression.
No.
He's just doing a caricature of like somebody with this power, with this
Yeah.
position. And it works so well because it's like, yeah, I could totally see like a fucking weird dude having this much money and acting that way.
It's such a good movie, and a little bit of a curveball when you look at the rest of Fincher's filmography. I kind of wouldn't expect him to direct that movie, a movie about Facebook or whatever. But it just works. Like he was the guy to do it.
Oh,
And-
absolutely.
And maybe like if this movie didn't exist, he wouldn't be the first director I would think to come to mind to direct that movie. If I was gonna make a Facebook movie,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think Fincher right away.
You think like Danny Boyle or somebody
yeah,
like
somebody else.
somebody around that corner. Yeah, I agree. That reminds me because my favorite Fincher film. I'll just go into it because we only have so much time in the world. But my favorite Fincher film out of his entire filmography is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that one, and that's your favorite.
That's
I
my
love
favorite.
That movie.
I just want to say a movie like this could have easily been directed by like a Spielberg type of filmmaker
Yeah.
because of the subject matter. It's very much like a Forrest Gump-esque type of structure. But when Fincher works on it, it feels a lot more depressing and more melancholy,
Yeah.
which is what I like about the subject matter because it is a weird premise. It is a man who is like reverse aging.
Yeah.
He starts out as a really old man and dies as a baby.
It's a kind of a ridiculous premise,
Yes.
but they play it real straight.
Yeah.
And the emotion that they have and the dynamic of their relationship, it turns into like a very tragic story.
Absolutely.
That movie is an absolute tragedy.
It's fucking depressing, man.
Yeah.
I get fucking emotional every time
Yeah.
because it's Brad Pitt and Kate Blanchett's one of their finest performances I've ever fucking seen.
For sure.
And the VFX still hold up in my opinion. This came out 15 fucking years ago and I still like it just looks so convincing.
That's 3 Brad Pitt Finchers, and it's got to be in his top 5 performances.
And they're
man.
all different.
Yeah, they're all different
Yeah, man.
characters. That's true.
Oh man. So yeah, I would say favorite Fincher film, Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Go watch it if you want to be sad and depressed. What's
Hell
your
yeah.
favorite Fincher film?
My favorite Fincher film is Seven. I love a good crime drama like that, a good mystery. The ending, the twist. That's what you call a twist ending. That's the gold standard of endings to me. I remember seeing that movie, not being too into film, and just thinking about that ending for so long.
Fucking A.
What's in the box? It's just like,
Well, you can't go wrong with
It's
that.
so iconic.
When you say it, everyone knows what the fuck you're
Yeah,
talking about.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like that's a movie I'm probably gonna see another 10 times before I die,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. You know what I mean? Like Seven is just a movie that I probably watch yearly. I love it. It's probably in my top 10, 20 films of all time.
Fucking
so I
A.
have to pick Seven.
Well, there you go. You know what? Yeah, I feel like the questions that I have here we kind of already answered in terms of favorite Fincher film, favorite Brad Pitt role, favorite. You know, I feel like we can end off by saying, are you excited to see The Killer?
The Killer. We reacted to the trailer.
Yep.
It looks good. It's Fincher back with serial killers, and the initial reviews from some people who saw it early are positive.
Fucking A, man.
I'm excited to see it.
Oh, man.
I'm hoping. Is it gonna go straight to Netflix, or are we gonna be able to watch it in theaters?
I think unfortunately that's one of the Netflix ones.
That's,
I know.
That's
But
a little bit too bad.
if
That's
it
too
ever
bad.
comes in theaters, select theaters, because sometimes Netflix does that.
yeah,
We're gonna go.
I'd love to see a Fincher film in theaters. Have you seen any Fincher films in theaters? Did you catch any of these in
No, only the Netflix because he's really been on Netflix. Because I saw Mank. Mank
Yeah.
was good. I fuck with Mank.
Oh, okay, you saw that.
That was a good one, but I hope to see a Fincher film in theater someday.
Yeah, him and Netflix. I mean, he started the House of Cards.
He did. House of Cards, Mindhunter.
Yeah, I can't even get into his show stuff.
No, yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about that on the next episode.
Absolutely.
We'll wrap it up there. Let us know your thoughts on David Fincher. Where does he rank amongst your favorite directors? And are you excited to see his new film coming out soon? Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to your boys. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Brush your hair.
Peace.